Join me.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Gene.
Okay, we have the agenda before you. Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried. Next, you have the approval of the minutes from last week. They are attached to the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I would second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried. Good morning,
Morning, Gary.
Terry Axman.
Morning, Terry.
You are up on the deck.
You're number one, Gary.
All right, number one in your hearts.
On the agenda.
On the agenda. I'll keep working on that.
Yeah, keep working.
Don't push your luck.
Well, I just want to review with you the work comp for the county for this year. First of all, you should have a packet there that has summary of the payrolls, and what I want to go through with you is there's really two things that caused the increase in the work comp this year. It went from about 106.4 to 131.6, so a little over $25,000 increase. Two things for that. One is there was a slight increase in payroll, and that's usually a year behind, as Neil and I talked about. It's picked up on audit every year, so it will adjust accordingly. So there was about $190,000 of increase in payroll. But what really caused the main increase was your experience mod. The way workers' comp works is you have a mod factor that is unique to your organization, and all businesses have that. You start with a factor of 1, and if you're better than 1, you know, it goes down to 0.9, 0.8, whatever. And last year you were at, I think, a 0.84, and then this year it went up to a 0.93. And if you look to this sheet from the IMWCA, it might be the last sheet on your packet, I believe. I want to point out, down on the very bottom, the way that mod is created is they don't take the current year that we're in, but they look at the prior 3 years. So we're in 2017, and you can see that right now you have about $9,000 worth of paid claims in this current year. But the 3 years from 14, 15, and 16, you can see the amount of losses, and you can look and see 2014 was a significant year. 2013, which went off, was a $4,000 of claims. $25,000 came on, so it went up. And along with the mod, the associated credits and discounts that are with that, as it goes down, you get more. As you move up, which you're at a 0.93, which is still a lot better than average. So, you know, you're to be commended on that. And I want to look at it this way. If you look at your total premium in the middle column up on top, you see as it goes down, you see that the manual rate that it comes up with a premium of $238,000, and then they start applying discounts. If you're in the standard market, you would have $238,000 minus what's called the large premium discount, 5 to maybe 10%. And that would be your premium. So you can see that it'd still be well over $200,000. So I guess what I'm saying is, even though the premium went up from $25,000, you're still in a very good position in whole. No, we don't like the $25,000 increase, but hopefully if things look like they're going and we don't have any more losses this year, you should come back down next year, just because of the mathematical formula there.
14 will come off,
And 17 will go on for next year.
okay,
And so, like I said, I don't know, you know,
how the ending balance.
how the
yet, but-
ending claims will wind up, but right now it looks favorable. So,
On this
$9,008 loss for 2017. Our year with you ends on June 30th.
Correct.
June 10th. Now, how far is that figured up till
That was, I think, till June 1.
June 1? Okay.
So you have about 30 days to go.
You got a month left.
So looking pretty good if nothing
Yeah.
big happens in
Mhm.
the next this calendar month.
Good chance there'll be a lot less next year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah, the big deal's dropping off
Yeah.
14.
Right,
Yeah.
and so like I said, knock on wood, we finish July out like that, or finish June out, and we should be in good shape for next year. But, you know, and work comp obviously is really, it pays for the claims, and there's nothing in there. The 2014 was an isolated incident, where we try to monitor by department to see if, you know, if the sheriff department or secondary roads, or is there anything that is problematic? And there really isn't. There's no sequence.
There's
of
no department
consistent-
that's trending in a wrong
Correct.
direction.
If there was, you know, Zach is very good, and IMWCA is very good about working what we call loss control. They'll come out, and they do come out anyhow on an annual basis and review everything, and there's nothing glaring that you know, shouts, you know, we need to take action somewhere. There's no repetitive claim, you know, whether it's slip and fall or whatever it might be. There's nothing that indicates there's anything like that we need to really work on. Like I said, if you go back to 2014, really it was a lot of one incident there.
So, but 2016 is, you know, I mean, if you didn't have 2014, 2016 looks like a high number as well.
It is a little bit higher than probably what we'd like to see. Keep in mind that they work with the county. A few years ago, the mod was changed in how they look at it, or how the claims are looked at it, in that if you have just a medical-only claim, they only apply 30% of that loss to your factor. So in other words, if you had an individual that went out and, you know, slipped and fell and needed an x-ray, and it was, you know, $1,000. Well, if he didn't lose any time, and so he's still getting paid, then that $1,000 loss would be discounted by 70%, so only $300 would count against you. So we do everything that we can to keep them, you know, back to work. So we have programs like that, because that's where, you know, it really can save you a lot of money. So Zach and the IMWCA have worked very hard to make sure that all departments have, you know, processes in place, so that if somebody does get injured, that we get them back to work, and we don't, you know, have them compound the problem by, you know, it's mitigating the loss is what we're doing. But yeah, you're right, 25,000 is, I'd have to go back and look actuarially, but I think that's probably just a little bit above what would translate to a 1. So we want to be below that, and typically we are, but.
The payroll changes would be reflected in next year's.
Correct.
adjustments.
Unless there's something, we can change payroll at any point.
Well, we've had a whole department that's gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's, would obviously reflect a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, the case management you're referring to.
Yes.
That'll catch up with us next time.
Okay.
And again,
And they'd be in that clerical.
yeah, they will pick that up if they're gone in audit. You know, sometime in July usually is when the audit, usually 30 days after your renewal, they'll come out and go through the payroll with Courtney and make sure that, you know, if that is high, they'll adjust it and you'll get a refund if that,
Okay.
if that salary is not there. And we've got one other one to look at that I'll talk to you about.
But their rate would be real low.
Yeah, I mean, when you look
Yeah,
at
it's,
the,
But
it's
but
still
we
a
wanna be accurate.
reflection. Just wanna-
Another one that I thought of, and maybe there's more, but I think of our general systems director. She is about halfway working for county, and half of her salary is reimbursed with Rolling Hills, so we should only be paying half of that, I feel. And I talked to Courtney about it. She said, well, I'll talk to Terry about it. And I talked to Terry, and he said, he talked to her. He said, they're gonna talk to each other about it.
Yeah, we have to figure out whether or not her payroll is being included. Contract labor is a difficult thing that we need to, you know, we need to define, you know, what that contract
Good point.
states, and
Yeah.
who is responsible. Somebody, we need to make sure, first of all, somebody's responsible. That's the big thing. And then whether it's Carroll County or Rolling Hills, and they're being reimbursed, or however, we just need to get to the bottom of it, so that, you know, the fear would be, well, two things. Number one, both of them could be paying her salary, or worse yet, nobody would be picking her up. That would, you know, probably be more of a concern. But, you know, she would be picked up under here. We just have to go find if we're including her salary in here.
Sure we are.
The whole.
Because we
have a
pay her
workman's-
full
Is
salary.
there anybody else we have on contract like our general assistant director? And then I'm thinking, I know one time our engineer worked for 2 counties, and there's probably a situation there where he shared with another county, but, you know, because.
Well, the only other one I can think is, would be in environmental health, but
Sarah is covered as an employee, so she.
I'm thinking more of Steve.
He's
he's
required to have
contract.
his own insurance.
Okay.
It's in his contract that he.
Yeah, that's the only other
has to-
contract labor that I can
Yeah.
think of.
What I will do is I can talk to you, and then I'll get a hold of the Rolling Hills people if you give me their contact person, and I can talk to them.
Sure.
The good thing is IMWCA, I know, writes all but one of them, mental health units, so that should be covered under here. We should easily be able to track
Okay.
and find that out and
Can I
then
just
figure out.
email that to you?
Absolutely,
Contact?
yeah. And then I'll follow up from there.
So looking forward, I think it's safe to assume that our rates will go down next year because of our change of our salary and the 3-year average,
Yeah.
barring anything big.
Barring,
next
yeah, you know, there's
few
always a
days.
possibility. The National Council on Compensation Insurance sets the standard rate, or what we call the base rate. And then the companies do their discount. So they actually took a decrease for July 1. So you don't know whether they'll increase them next year, but usually when they do it, it's a very minor fluctuation there. But, you know, hopefully with the way things were trending or looking with the 2017 year, you know, again, barring something strange happening here this last month, or a big reserve being kicked up on something that may be ongoing, but yeah, it should be looking good for next year.
Anything else we need to do, or any other concerns that you have, Terry?
No, you know, like I said, continue allowing us to work with Zach and the loss control, and you know, we should be in good shape.
But the premium is over here, and excuse me if I missed this, but is that set on experience then?
The discounted premium?
Yes.
Yeah. The discounted premiums, it starts with your experience factor, and then there's several things that you can look at on that left. There's like longevity credits, a loss experience credit, large premium discount credits. So then they discount that premium from the 1,071, looking in the first category, down to the 592. So it's cut
Okay.
almost in half.
I guess what I'm looking at is, you know, we spent, what, $20,000 on that cot
For the
Lift
for the
ambulance.
ambulance, for,
Oh.
you know, to help
To help with some of those.
with some of
issues.
those claims,
Mhm.
and some of those issues, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the second highest, you know, discounted premium amount there,
Mhm.
is the ambulance service. So hopefully that will
Right.
help and reduce that.
To talk about it, longevity and experience, what moves the needle a long ways? If we would
Well,
look, you're talking about.
longevity, you've reached the capacity. I mean, after you've been
Okay.
there 6 years, which you've been there much longer, you receive
Okay.
the full 8, so that won't change.
Okay.
The loss experience credit, again, tracks with your experience mod, as it, you know, they go up and down together, so.
Okay.
It's a function, and it's a sliding scale. I don't have the scale here, but, you know, like, if you go up to .95, which you're close, then you would lose some experience credit. If you go back down to .83, you would pick up some more credits. Exactly what that scale is, I don't have that, you know, in my, don't have that one memorized.
Okay, any other questions for Terry?
Terry.
Okay. Anything else, Terry?
Nope, thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Terry.
I'm going to explain it all to us, Terry.
Yeah.
No problem.
Looking forward to better things in the future.
And I just want to let you guys know, in fiscal 18, we budgeted 125,000 for work comp. So we're short $6,657. So we might have, when we do an amendment, we might have to take a look at
Clean
that.
that up.
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Paulson.
And Dave?
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Dave.
And Dave.
Dave?
You're
Strain
on.
we talking about today?
I got this.
Oh, don't worry, we got plenty.
I'd be shocked if we did it.
It's dry out. How can you drink?
It is dry, isn't it? It's
Oh, my
dusty,
lawn
my
started
goodness,
really-
it's dusty.
Not raining, so the roof don't need to be fixed, yeah.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah. Last week I forgot to bring Mike Wolf's resignation letter. There it is.
Mike Wolf.
Mike
Yep.
Wolf,
Mechanic.
our mechanic.
You got somebody else in his place, or?
We've got a couple other mechanics. He's always kind of been our heavy equipment mechanic. Used to be a cat serviceman, and he's just really good at that. Not quite sure what we're gonna do. For the meantime, I think we can get by with the others, but we're gonna have to do some hiring, whether it be another mechanic or a mechanic's helper, or somebody to run snowplow. Two mechanics we have, both have snowplow routes, and Mike will oftentimes be the only one in the shop, or there'd be no one in the shop if he had to go out and work on a grader or work on something else while the other ones were running their snowplows or truck plows. I guess I'm gonna be asking you to hire probably a couple of people, and we've got some other ones coming down the line that are gonna retire, but we're gonna really miss Mike.
30 years.
30 years,
Mhm.
yeah.
A lot of experience there.
Hard to,
Experience,
hard to
yeah.
replace that.
Yeah, he can do things that few people can do.
I visited with another one of our long-term employees over the weekend, and he mentioned how good Mike was at like getting out in the country in some of the worst conditions to get somebody back on the road and going, and that,
Yeah.
they appreciated that,
Yeah,
so.
he's really something.
I will move to accept the resignation with regrets.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the resignation with regrets. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carries.
Sure, sure.
The next thing I've got is back from, I guess we called it the Virginia Halber Bridge. We got a bill from the state for $1,003.49 for aggregate testing, basically the materials testing. And for that particular federal aid contract, it was BRSCO14-155-60-14. And they always have the chairman of the board sign that along with myself. The money comes out of the farm market account.
So that's for just testing of,
Materials testing, what do they call it? Tabulation of assurance and verification testing costs.
I mean, that bridge has been done for quite a while, hasn't
Yeah.
it? Kind of dragging its feet.
How long's it been doing?
About 2 years, hasn't it?
Pretty close, yeah.
They're on top of their game, aren't they?
Well, we'll be getting more later, but,
With our, the bridges, with HGM, we'd hired them for a lot of our fracture critical bridge testing as they got into, what's our situation with that?
Did we do another contract with them earlier? I think we're on like a 2-year thing with them. As
In
far as-
March, we signed up, and there are 3 fracture critical bridges and 5 special bridge inspections. with HGN that we signed on with.
Yeah, I haven't seen any results of the inspections yet. They haven't sent us any paper, but they'll get it done, they always do.
So they pretty much they know which bridges, they just go out and do it
They
and send you
do.
the results.
Yeah.
So they may have done it and you don't know it yet.
Yeah, yeah, they may have put it in the computer, but they've still got a little time to do it. I think it was May, June, they're due. I've got a utility permit that came in after,
Should we have a motion to authorize him to sign that, or the chair to sign that?
Yes, probably should.
I'd make the motion that we should have our chairman and Dave sign that voucher.
I'll second that.
Been moved and second to authorize the chair and engineer to sign the DOT voucher. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Thank you, Courtney. I was sleeping there a little bit.
So you wanna-
Courtney's on top of things.
You want to add a utility permit to the agenda? I'll make a motion to that effect.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second to add a utility permit. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
This one's with Raccoon Valley Electric, in section 29 of Nice Township. They're just boring across Ivy Avenue at 14801 Ivy. Kind of looks by the, I was gonna say it was going into a grain facility, but it really isn't. It's good aerial photo. So this would just be south of 140th Street on Ivy for the Maple River Blacktop.
This is a rather lengthy detour by Ralph Bach.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
By law, we're required to do a paved detour.
Mhm.
We also
I see
put,
you've got the
dust
calcium
control
down.
on
Yeah.
that. I barely even thought about it, and I think there were like 4 or 5 calls. The sheriff had a couple calls, and he had a call, and the supervisor had a
Yeah,
call.
coming straight north, that's a
Yeah.
natural fit.
It's kind of a no-brainer.
I've got, had another call in Walnut. They think that's a detour too.
Really?
Yeah.
Had been on the radio with Dave earlier, and I have the radio program today, and I'll just mention again to the public that anybody who wants to go from 30 to Coon Rapids area, that they'd be better served by taking the Willie Blacktop or 71, or if they're coming the other
County
direction,
line.
Apple
Yeah,
Avenue,
or
County
county
line.
line.
Yeah.
Because the detour is quite inconvenient if they
Quite,
are taking
yeah.
Timber Avenue.
Well, either that or down through south of Ralston too.
Yeah.
Mhm. That county line
That'd be,
road.
that'd be west of, east of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they,
You'd have to jog back.
I don't know how bad they're hitting that gravel road.
And the way it sounds, there's a lot of people using Walnut too.
Yeah.
Couple calls off
But
that
straight
one.
north and south, the powder was pretty good when I was through there Thursday, so they're pounding her pretty hard.
Mhm.
Where the untreated spots, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign 'em.
I gotta sign that one.
It'd be nice to treat the whole works, but a 400-foot spot for one treatment's roughly $200.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you did a whole mile, you'd really be running into a lot of money.
Mhm.
Years ago, when they did Highway 30 and Highway 71, we wound up doing that, but we were spending thousands of dollars, and we were getting.
Try
so
not to
much-
grade that then, don't you?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it,
Back on this utility permit, is there a motion to approve it?
I'll move to approve the utility permit.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved second to approve the utility permit. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay.
One other thing with that treatment, and having had it when I lived in the country, it's very good for dust control, but in the winter, it can collect moisture and cause an icy spot as well.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
kind of get a little dicey in the wintertime sometimes.
Well, I happened to be going through Maple River when they had just put it on that gravel road.
Uh-huh.
Man, oh man, they dump a lot of stuff in there. I'd hate to drive through there right after they did it. 'Cause
Get the
it
car
would be a,
unloaded pretty
it would
good.
be a mess.
Yeah, it's almost to the point of running off the road.
Yeah.
They put it on.
Yeah.
Wow. It just, And it-
I mean, I didn't drive through it, but I noticed it, you know, the truck was gone, but
Doused it.
boy, oh boy.
Like Neil said, the ones that we do year after year are kind of a mixed blessing. You know, because on one hand, they do collect
Mhm.
ice. You know, we add calcium chloride to freeze-proof our sand to do it because it really puts it down actually below zero, or salt itself won't do that, but calcium chloride will suppress the freezing point on it. But it just continues to get more and more popular.
Maybe Tuesday night it'll rain.
Yeah.
It'll settle the dust.
I got my fingers crossed.
You and I both.
Hope we get this tile done before
Okay.
that. I don't know if it will. Drain 33, I only have one drain at the moment. Didn't do anything. Marty and I went out on one, and we're going to go out on two. I don't know. Depends on how I can report it. But,
Yeah.
on Jim Pudence's ground, I think Greg called Al. There's a 12-inch tile that's broken in section 22 of Sheridan. There was a hole there, and apparently there's some quicksand there too. We're going to try and replace between 100 and 200 feet of that with plastic tile. Dig in there. There's the old map actually shows it the best. There's a pond in this location here, and this pond is not quite as big as it's drawn on the map, but it has to be maybe in a couple acres. Apparently all the water from this pond has drained into this pond and then been stopped up by this hole right here that's barely, they dug downstream, and it's barely flowing, just a trail of water through it. It's right close to where you used to live.
Across the road there now.
Yeah. And we couldn't find a contractor. There was one in there that could respond quickly enough, so while the corn's kind of short here, we're gonna try and go in there and do it, see if there's minimal damage, because if it would stay like that and rain, it'll just continue to fill this pond up, probably kill more crop, or maybe kill more over here. Tree roots and quicksand now. We're gonna take our excavator in there, and our backhoe, and probably our little bobcat, several employees, so we're ready. We can stand on the pipe when it starts floating. Looks like we're maybe a dealer in hip waders now, because we've got quite a few pairs of them. Anyway, if that's okay, it could be a $5,000 fix it, I suppose, if all goes pretty good. Somewhere around that neck of the woods.
Is there a motion to?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded to authorize the repair. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried.
Sale of a vehicle, the vehicle we call Convict One, is actually John Worden's vehicle. I think if we sell it, we'll probably have to give him the money for it, but it's just taking up room. We haven't used it very much. We've got our old survey van. We put a seat in the back end of it, so we would have that for a vehicle to use for tours and whatnot. Right now, John Bernholtz is using it up at the gravel pit, when checking gravel, and works out real good for that. So we do have a replacement for that vehicle. It'd be okay if we take it out to sale barn. I'll have to send John an email, tell him we're going to sell it.
You might want to check with before you do it.
Yeah, but most definitely.
Do the added passengers go with it?
There's some small passengers that may go with it, or they may get off before they go out there.
Kind of hate to see that car go.
I don't.
Ron was looking it over, one of our ace mechanics was looking it over, and he kind of decided he wasn't going to delve into it because he saw some evidence that
These are going south.
yeah, things are going south. So if that's okay with you, and I'll check with John and make sure it's okay with him, because I think that he got it on a drug bust. And we've been using it for quite a while.
Do we need a motion for that or not? Probably not, do we? Because you can just you normally dispose stuff like on your own, don't you?
I do, yeah, and always discuss it with you. I wouldn't
That's
feel I'd
fine.
have the
I
authority
just want
to
to
do it on
clarify,
my
so
own, but at least
don't get
mention
called
it
out
so
not
it's in
making
the
call for a
minutes.
motion.
It's in the minutes, yeah.
I just want to clarify, so I don't get called out and I'm not making have a motion for it.
Yeah, well, don't make a motion, we'll find out if we should or not. What do you think of that?
It sounds like it's not of any use to any other county office, so.
No.
The process is to dispose of it.
What would normally happen to property seized in a?
I think
You'd
they
have to
usually
ask John,
dispose
I
of
don't
it, I think, after a certain point. I think they have to hang out there so long.
For evidence?
Then they dispose of it, I think.
I mean, I would think that'd probably be probably the biggest thing that you'd want to consider is the fact that what happens to property after it's been
Oh,
seized.
John has advertised property before.
He
I
has.
remember he had some other vehicle that he advertised, and I remember in the ad it said it may have residue of drugs in it. He wanted to make it clear that it was taken on a drug bust when he was selling it.
This has got 2 types of residue.
You make 'em- and the mice are going like this.
Maybe that's why they were in there.
Right in it.
If you were selling on a commission, you would be talking like that, Dave.
No, hopefully there won't be any
Yeah.
publicity on
Yes.
this.
Yeah, talk to John first, I think. Who holds the title to it, John?
I don't know if it's Carroll County or John. Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious what the title is. It's got plates on it, so
I will.
you're gonna have the title.
He's made sure to tell me so on several occasions that that is his vehicle. So,
Well, the title isn't in our office, so you probably, if you.
He probably has it.
doesn't.
yeah,
Okay.
we might have it, I don't know. The asphalt's going along good. They've got the shoulder widening, the bottom part of it on Templeton Road. They're up working on the Halbert Roselle Road. They made the whole 5 miles less 8,000 feet. They were about 8,000 feet short of making it to Halbert last Friday. So it looks like it's gonna take today and tomorrow for them to finish the shoulder widening on that road, and then they'll move up to the Swan Lake there, that 1 mile stretch.
I see the Biffy is there, so I assume that they're gonna be there not very long from there. Yeah.
Just around the corner, so
Yeah.
they'll do that, and then they'll start on putting the 2 top layers on. Everybody gets an inch and a half, and then another inch and a half.
Do you know, are they gonna start right away back, right where they're at, finishing up, and then just do the 2 layers right there while the bins are mostly there?
I think they're using a different machine for the laydown. They use the shouldering machine.
may go
for the-
clear back the
So
other way.
they may go just back to Templeton again. That's kind of what I'm guessing at this point. They'll go there and work the same path, but I'd be lying if I tell you I'm doing it.
Fourth, well, should be done by the 4th, I would think.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that should go
Maybe the
relatively
only
fast.
Thing you might watch for.
There's more other traffic there right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty busy down there.
I met Dave down the corner one day. It was busy, wasn't it?
It was busy, truck after truck
Your,
after truck.
turn road, and that straight road where there's no signage there. Twice I've been down through there, the last 2 times I've been a lot of confusion right there in that. I mean, the locals know what to do, but the not locals do not know what to do there.
No.
Yeah, so, and I don't know how to sign it, I wouldn't have a clue. Who yields, who doesn't. Yeah, keep your hands back off that one, that's a weird
Well,
intersection.
Particularly to the north there.
Yeah, on the north side, it's a strange intersection.
We've talked about that a couple times.
Yeah, I haven't, they've requested a speed limit there, and I still haven't done anything with them yet. It's kind of our jurisdiction as far as the speed limit, but
Well, the sheriff's department says mobile deal out there for the last 3 weeks.
really,
Yeah, filtering it out a little bit, maybe.
you know.
Maybe the
Slowing
kids are
down.
just testing to see how high the number will go too, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so.
The other thing, Dave, on the railroad crossing, how are they coming on that on UP?
I think they're getting it done. They kind of surprised us with a few of those. And, they've been calling now, but I think they're moving
Going down.
on east into Greene County and beyond. The box culvert on the Coon Rapids Blacktop, I think the crane is due to come in, and yet today maybe they'll hopefully be setting culverts tomorrow, and I think they've got it scheduled to leave on Wednesday, so if all goes well, they'll get that set, start getting that backfilled and done. We're gonna try and get the asphalt to get in there. We may just buy some mix from them and put it in with our grader and pack it down, and then wait before they leave to do the final overlay on it. I'm sure we'll be back there more than once, as usual. Our contract gravel, the gravel there at the Lookout Pit with the addition of the limestone, and they were on the bottom of the pit bringing out our gravel, and it really looks good on the road. I think it's the best looking gravel that we've had, other than it's not as good as white rock, but it really looks pretty good laying on the road. I don't know if anybody's seen it or not, but the Blakeman think it looks good. Road foreman thinks it looks good. I think it looks good. But they should.
It must look good.
Yeah, gosh, it sounds like quite the testimony. Hope we're right.
Well, looking good and performance, two different things.
That is true, yeah. Good is in the eye of the beholder often. And they should be done with that midday today, have the 20,000 tons on the road.
Been busy, I've been seeing the trucks moving.
Yeah, it just really works out good. I'm kind of hoping we can do that again, maybe with Alex or whatever, get a little more on the road. What we're capable of doing. That's about all I can think of right now.
Gene, can we talk about the dirt that was
Oh,
requested?
yes, that's right. I need some dirt. You gotta refresh my memory here now.
Carrie called in Mount Carmel, they have a lot of settling where some of the lines are at. Do you guys have dirt available? Would you be willing to put it in a pile in Mount Carmel so Rusty could go around and?
Need a load or two or three.
I'm guessing just a load.
Want some of that nice yellow dirt.
That won't grow.
I'm
Nice
guessing
yellow
it's
dirt.
going in people's yards,
Oh.
so something that the grass.
Turn it over.
Load
Hope for the best.
Load of gravel.
And then I guess the other question would be, is it okay to put it in where the roads building is up there, on the side, so he'd have access to?
Yeah, I think that, it's got, I think they have that building there.
If you're okay with that,
Because they were
Dave,
gonna
why don't
charge-
you have,
Carrie get a hold of Dave?
no,
Or
get it,
Rusty?
Rusty, have Rusty get home, get it all lined up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were gonna charge like $230 from Arcadia to haul some dirt up there. And let's check and see if we have any first. They don't have a lot of funds in the Maple River accounts to pay for a lot of that stuff, so.
In the Maple
or
River.
I'm
This is
sorry,
Mount Carmel.
I got
Yeah.
the two mixed up.
I think you know.
Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll have you get a hold of you.
Someone that works for the county lives up there.
Well, maybe
Right
he can haul,
close.
maybe he can haul the dirt around then, I don't
Right,
care.
right close.
Right close, yeah.
Mhm.
Because basically, I think he was just gonna take a skid loader and just put it where it needed to go and let them.
Right, yeah, we've got a pile of pretty good dirt there. It's not a real big pile, but just a load or two is not gonna bother anything.
I don't know, and I'll have Rusty talk to you, maybe it's more than that, I don't know, but.
I wouldn't think it would be, but you never know.
You know, if it's settling, that's fine, I just hope it doesn't move lines. That'd be a nice thing.
Yeah.
We've had some issues with that up there. That got done in such a hurry that winter.
Those drainage lines, they cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah, these were not drainage lines, but
Different
Yeah,
kind of
sewer
fluid
lines, sewer lines.
Kind of drainage.
Kinda,
Okay, thank you.
kinda sorta.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a nice week, everybody.
Yep,
Yeah,
you
good to
too.
see you,
Okay.
after we get done off the mountain, we'll talk to you.
Yeah, I might be out and about, similar thing. Just
He's got a phone.
I know, I've talked to him once.
He got a smartphone.
Oh, no.
Smarter
All
than-
right, next we
smarter
have
than
is
me.
the payables. Is there any questions in regard to payables?
Yeah, I got one.
You go already?
Please talk to me. I know.
Here, Dave, I just was curious about, do you guys get this in bulk? That highlighted? That's not your area, but do you get that in bulk?
I think we might. I'm not sure if we buy it from, you know, who we buy it from. I
Well,
know-
I'm just
I know
curious,
we-
I mean, it
we've
looked
got
to
a
me
big-
like that was a lot of money for that department.
Yeah.
I mean, if we've got, it's kinda like buying paper, you get paper.
We order it and let everybody know we're ordering, and then if they need some, then we.
Kind of the same thing? I mean, you're talking about the conservation and ambulance.
We buy it by the case, that's, I
Yeah.
know that, yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's something that we need to look at.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I don't think Zach gets involved in that end, but he gets involved in the
We would have such
claims part.
minimal.
Well, you guys wouldn't need it, but I'm talking,
No.
I'm talking about,
Well, even the sheriff's office, but.
Sheriff's
you know,
office,
they're
ambulance,
getting
and,
Oil changes done, and
yeah,
when they get the oil changes.
I'll show it to you, Gene.
probably.
Yep.
The
You look at that,
ambulance
too?
comes down and changes their oil at our shop, don't they?
it looked like a lot of money
Still
for,
doing
I
that, I think they
don't know
are.
how much they
I
got,
haven't seen them on it,
but
Becker was doing
if,
that.
if Dave would put in an order and,
They can get it by
Yeah.
55-gallon drum. I
well,
think.
yeah, I mean, or split it out somehow, you know, and
Yeah.
could save
We
some
usually
money
get
that
it By
way.
the case lot with the jugs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think some of it winds up going out to the outlying
I think
sheds
if
for
you
the
go
graders.
to any one of these auto distributors,
you'd be able to get
they
it.
would shoot you out a price for a large quantity too.
Well, this Mid-Iowa Sales is out of Boone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't-
While we're talking about bills, David, this Mid-Iowa Petroleum Services replaced spill containers for 5,000. What is that?
That's, we got written up by our insurance company that our spill containers were no longer adequate. When they put the hose of the transport inside, if you have a small spill, there's a like 5-gallon bucket and it comes in, and the hose clamps had busted around there and there wasn't no fixing to it. The others were just around the corner to get them done. So we wound up replacing those for $5,000, charge it off to the fuel depot. Once we see how we come out at the end of the year, I think the fuel depot is roughly maybe 20,000 in the hole. We haven't applied our year's income to it, but we might want to talk about raising rates maybe a penny more to get it paid off a little sooner, because a lot of that stuff is getting pretty old. And that, you know, it went into service in 1989. Those spill containers were that old.
Oh, so they're just there for when the transport's coming in.
Yeah, that's where the transport drops its hose. You know what a spill container
Yeah.
is. And if there's a minor spill, it catches it, and there's a plunger you can push to drop it into the tank. And this was the case to where that was no longer sealed and working, so any spill we would have had would have wound up going into the sand and gravel above the tank, which would not have been good. They actually, we didn't get it done, just we were waiting for parts, and they threatened to revoke our insurance. We didn't get it done.
They carry a big stick.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that'd be, it wouldn't be good to be uninsured with an underground storage tank. But yeah,
That's Pemic?
Thank you.
Yeah.
have one question, and one, I'm not sure what it is. Courtney, in the ambulance, it has the city of Manning, the $1,400 for the June rent, but it has it twice. Is that omit of Coon Rapids, or did we actually just typo and get it
There
twice?
should be 3 of them.
Okay, yeah, there's only 2, but Manning's twice. I just thought maybe it was a typo.
So should be Breda Manning and Coon.
And
Yeah.
Coon Rapids probably
Yeah.
instead of Manning.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
run that by them. They might have just put the wrong vendor in there. And
Okay.
We'll do that before we print the checks off.
We should catch that before it comes out.
Yeah.
And my question is, and I do not know what it is, I guess that's why I have a question on it. The portable radio and the Motorola systems for the 205,000. Did we buy some new radio things?
Yeah.
Okay, I just
Yeah,
assumed that's
been-
what it was,
yeah.
but.
Yep, and there's grant money to cover that too. I'm
Okay.
sure it's one of those deals where we have to
I just
spend the money before we can.
didn't remember
reimburse
it
by the
coming through,
grant.
but it
Yep.
very well could have.
Yep. Yep, that was a big number.
Yeah, I think that's what caught my eye more than
Yep.
anything else.
We did get an invoice from Iowa Drainage District Association. The county's never been members. But we did contribute the $5,000 back in October of 2015 for the drainage lawsuit thing. So I did want to bring this to your attention. They're asking to be members. They're not asking for any contribution, but they have a letter attached that says, any monies would be used for that. So instead of just discounting it, I thought I'd let you guys see it. We can put it on the agenda another time if you want to discuss it further, or if we just want to not be members because we never have been.
I think that's a good idea.
To put it on the agenda another time, or just discount it because we've never been members.
Discount it.
I wouldn't, unless someone really thinks we should join on, when something comes up like the lawsuit, we did certainly contribute to that.
We can.
Saw some significant
I think
potential
we-
benefit there.
Just leave it as we have in the past.
Yep, I think let history take care of that one.
Okay, any other questions on the bills? Claims?
If there are none, I'd make a motion to approve the payables.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so move in second to approve the payables. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carries. Okay, next we have is a plat. It's basically a retracement. We changed the lines on
Alteration.
the, yeah.
This one's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
They're gonna do this, and the excess is gonna be deeded to the original owner, and then the person that owns the lot is gonna deed it back. They're basically just trying to clean it up and redraw the lines of the acreage, is my understanding, so.
Yeah.
This is, we have that petition we're gonna talk about a little bit, but they're actually wanting to vacate a survey. And they could have done that here too, but they chose to, they're gonna replat it, and then they have to do some deeding back and forth for the excess that's left over, but there's a couple different ways you can do it. This way's a little, more time.
Because this, what there is this, there's a creek right there.
It's a natural
Natural line there.
breakage, that's what they're looking for. Okay.
And that's why this got this point here, so they just will have it. Okay.
So we'll probably see more of this.
I'm glad I could answer that. for you.
Well, the
You know, like
deeds
this
we
piece
won't
right
see.
here, is that part of
After
the
this is done, you shouldn't
DOT?
have to see it
Okay.
again,
Clear.
hopefully.
No,
Unless they
over
would
there, yeah?
choose to
No,
Oh, that is the
section
creek there?
anything off.
that's the correct.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is right south on 71.
Yeah, yeah.
It's where,
Oh, that's Louis.
what was her name? Used to live
Oh, no, Test Road, wasn't it?
Noggle?
there. Well, Temple lived there one time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this used to be an old ogle. Or,
Yeah.
no, it was not.
Noggle's across the road.
This
Utah
used to be
or
an old Renzi place.
Bucky?
Yeah, yeah.
But,
I don't know. That's what we need.
Basically.
there was a family lived in there, and they sold it to Clark's. I think they finally built a new acreage there.
Basically, they went in there and just scrubbed all the trees and cleaned everything out.
And there's all, already
Oh, I
gone
know
to
what
one
you're talking
building.
about.
And
Yeah.
south on 71.
I can't think of her name.
Dave was there mowing Saturday when I drove by. Clucky.
We did get another plat in, I got it this morning, I don't know, we have plats with apostrophe S or with the S in the parentheses, I didn't know if you wanted to wait until next week on this one, or if you want to include it.
We could include it, it's basically flats, there's no
Yeah, I'll
specific.
pass it around.
We know where this is at.
Right,
Where's the existing building?
right west of Manning.
Okay.
Right west of Manning?
Section 19.
Okay.
Existing building was sitting there that, on our side of the road. Not very far.
It's right on the county line.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Don't see a problem with that one either.
I don't know which place it is. I know there's one place, there was a house where, I don't know if anybody lives in it, they kind of quit taking care of it because they had some problems with storm damage on a home.
Is that that big gray one?
Yeah.
Well, that's not in Carroll County.
The gray one's not?
Is that
You need
still?
to order Dr.
Yeah, is that west of this?
That's
Yeah.
west of that, yeah.
Okay.
That's where they had the house fire and then the wind took out the shed.
Yeah, that would be west of this then, okay. I can't fig.
I think they're putting a new big grain lake set up in.
Oh, yes, they are.
Of this?
Okay, Galen, yep, yeah, they are. They're putting a new grain lake there.
No problem with me.
Yes, he is. I saw that a week ago.
There is the airport in Manning.
Yeah.
Right on the
Not
edge of
there
town.
anymore.
There is that?
Isn't there a doctor flies in and out of there for the hospital? It was, but I don't, maybe he doesn't.
No, they don't have no strip there no more.
This is on Leroy and Frida's
Mhm.
property?
But Galen Raniger's the end owner there, and he's putting up a new grain lake, now that you mention it, Gene.
Mm-hmm.
By there a week ago Sunday, that's what the story was. Okay, I got it now.
I'd make a motion to approve the two plats.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the two plats. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Next is a petition to vacate survey request at a hearing date.
Okay, so you're probably thinking deja vu because we did this last week.
Yeah.
If you remember. Well, right before I sent it to the paper, I was looking at the code section again, and we actually have to publish the notice of the hearing twice. And there has to be 14 days in between publication dates. So I'm proposing that we change the
The
hearing
hearing
date
date.
to later so we can get those 2 dates in the paper.
So previously, we had a motion to have the public hearing on June 19th at 9:30 a.m.
Mhm.
So we need a motion to revoke that and have a different time and date,
I
or
think
what?
that'd be pretty clear, yeah.
Mhm.
An extra 7 days will be fine for that.
Yeah, because I'll send it today, and, yeah, we'll publish on June 14th and June 28th.
So when should we change it to? What would work on our agenda?
I'd like to do July 10th at 9:30.
9:30. Okay, I'll try to word that correctly. I'll move to revoke our previous motion to have, of the public hearing of June 19th at 9:30 and change that to public hearing to be on July 10th at 9:30 a.m.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second to revoke the previous one and set the new date. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, next we have a fireworks permit for Joseph Cook. For the 4th of July.
I'm just gonna make one comment. I talked to Courtney about this. I got a call last week about an individual who was a neighbor to an individual we did permit to shoot fireworks. And he made the comment that he would have probably have objected to that for the simple reason that he has to watch his cattle on the 4th of July when they're shooting fireworks, because they would probably get out, it'd spook them. And personally, I know how that happens. And all I'm really doing is making the comment today, whether or not we do anything about it or not. I mean, you can, it scares my dog too, so I don't want my neighbor to shoot fireworks. PTSD is another thing that
Yeah,
comes into play. So, I mean, you can have a whole list of the reasons why somebody shouldn't be shooting fireworks next to me. But I just, basically for, just.
So what you're saying, basically you're saying is in context that you think that we should have kind of a hearing on each one of these so we have time to put input into it?
And that's what I kind of mentioned to Courtney, whether or not, I don't think we should do it with these, if it's, but I mean, not necessarily a hearing, but we present them one week and we give people time to react to them and approve, say like if we were to do this, to approve these next week. Now, I'm not saying that that's what we should do, I'm just saying,
Courtney and I had a discussion, there's no reactionary period for these people to
comment.
object,
Right.
if they do have an
Yeah.
objection to it.
Well, the agenda's published before the meeting, that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they'd have to see it on Friday and
Right.
get a hold of somebody.
it's a narrow little
Yeah.
window, and there is that, and that's why we publish agendas, and I understand that. But then again, what parameters are we going to establish to deny? Because the list could be anything.
Yeah, we could get all kinds of comments.
Exactly.
yes,
I guess I look at it, as a neighbor, it'd be a courtesy thing for them to notify the other neighbors around. I don't think we need to be involved in it.
right.
I think that's
agree
more
with
of
that.
a courtesy thing to let them know that it's
Yeah.
coming.
It's a situation where, unfortunately, I do have cattle.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, he's gonna shoot fireworks. So it's two different opinions of
Exactly.
who is actually right there, so.
Exactly.
You know, when Brita shoots fireworks off, there's
Mhm.
a lot of dogs in the basement, and there's,
Yep.
you know, and
Yep.
some people leave town
Yep.
because of that. And you watch the cattle that are close,
Yeah.
you know.
But if
so-
you know when it's coming.
We know when it's coming,
You
yeah.
can prepare for
yeah.
it.
So, all I'm doing is basically bringing the comments, I'm just airing the comments of
Okay.
the individual, so.
And maybe we should take that in consideration if we ever decide to do a ordinance. And maybe it's narrow the window down from July 2nd to July 8th. That way, everybody can kind of prepare themselves for those dates that it could happen anywhere at that time period, without getting our fingers in it too much.
Okay.
But
Comments been received?
Yeah.
Now let's get back to this one here. Is there a motion to approve the permit for Joseph Cook?
I'll move to approve the fireworks permit for Joe Cook.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the fireworks permit for Joseph Cook. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Next, we have a fireworks permit for Mike Wendell.
Also move.
I'll second it.
That one's been moved and seconded to approve. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried.
I need Gene's signature on both of those.
Get your checkbook out too, just sign a blank check.
That fireworks.
We'll tell you what it's for later.
Okay, next we have the approval of retail cigarette and tobacco permit applications. We have three here, one for Al's Corner, one for Breda, Carroll Country Club, and the Corner Station by Temple.
I would make a motion to approve all three permits.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the three permits. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Contrary, motion carried. Next we have is mirror management plan updates. We have one for Laverne Grading, that is in section 34 of Pleasant Valley Township, and they have added acres and changed crop rotation for optimum yields. Then we have one for Larry J. Meyer, in section 14 is Sheridan. They have made other changes. They've updated their soil test and P indexes. Then we have Stangl, Aaron and Andy and Larry Stangl, section 17 of Washington. They've changed crop rotation for optimum yields. Okay. All right, Marty.
Kind of slow week. Just had one thing, went out with Dave last week on Drain 31, just over east of Glidden. It's basically on a wetland. They're having some issues with the drainage on the next door neighbor. Dave and I went out and looked at it. We are in the process of getting together with the landowner and visiting with him to see what we can do to correct it. Basically, the problem is there's a lot of debris filling around the basket, and it's going over the overflow pipe and flooding the landowner below. And so we're gonna talk to the landowner and see if we can put some kind of a basket or something around there to catch that debris so it doesn't, so it actually goes down instead of going over the overflow. So Dave's in the process of getting in touch with the landowner there, and we're gonna visit with him about that when we get sat down and kind of go from there. And that's all I had for last week.
This week?
And this week, I've got Wesco board meeting this evening, solid waste tomorrow morning, and then Region 12 on Thursday.
On Wednesday?
And Wednesday, well, I'll check on that one and see if we can get that moved in next week. I got another commitment Wednesday, so I can't be at that St. Anthony's on Wednesday.
Neil?
Okay, nothing to report, but Thursday I do have a CPPC Community Partnership for Protecting Children meeting. That's my plans for this week.
Dean?
Last week I went to the Elk Run WQI event in Breda. They basically covered some of the participation that they've had. And basically this is run by the Iowa Corn Growers and the Iowa Soybean Association. And they're funding basically all of the projects that they're doing. And they did 2 projects. There's one completed last year. There's one that we could have gone out and looked at in the process. And it's a bioreactor that's being put in place. And there's this, Iowa Soybean Association is funding 6 more this year if they have the participation. They're actually offering $250 finder's fees for anybody who would be interested in putting one in. My thing is I would like to see what kind of results they're getting from it. You know, that's probably the biggest thing is if it is doing exactly what they
You say they're gonna.
say they're.
Public, or support 6 more in what geographical area?
Elk Run area.
Elk Run area.
Yeah.
Only Elk Run area.
Yeah. So, so yeah, if anybody knows of anybody who would want to put one of those in, you know, just contact, I've got a contact, but, you know, they're doing good things. I'm glad to see that the Iowa Soybean Association and the Iowa Corn Growers are making an effort to help in water quality issues. Let's see. And Rich can add to that too. He was there. And I took that one phone call. That's all I had last week on the fireworks thing. This week I've got Conservation Board meeting tonight. The West Nishnabotna WMA meeting in Oakland. Rich and I are going down to that on Wednesday. I have an opportunity. Now this is another thing I guess I did participate in the Highway 30 Coalition meeting on over conference call, I guess it was. What day was that? Is that on
11 o'clock
Thursday?
on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, Tuesday it was. They're making good progress there. I think they're getting some attention, you know, and they've got they're meeting with, there's a commissioner meeting tomorrow in Coralville.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, it's a long drive. I haven't made the commitment to go to that yet, but I'm going to go talk to Adam after the meeting today and see if there's a way that I can get over there. You know, if I can get over there, I'll probably go to the meeting. But I think they're making some headways. I think they're getting some attention. David Rose, one of the commissioners, was on the conference call, and he seems very confident that, you know, in time, this could actually, we could see some work done here. There's going to be, and I always said that the stretch between Ogden and Grand Junction is always a very dangerous. I mean, there have been a lot of accidents there and a lot of fatalities, and could have been in one myself. But I think that stretch they're going to really focus tomorrow on and try to get something done there. And I guess that's it. That's going to be my week.
I'll just jump back in. I also have the radio and newspaper this week, I think. Is that right, Marty?
I have a self-inflicted Rotary meeting I attended last week, and a couple questions for Dave, and I visited with him about a river issue just north of Coon Rapids. It's the 320th and Velvet. It's by that intersection. It's called the Galloway Bridge. The river is kind of undercutting some of the county road there a little bit. And there was a lot of suggestions, and I took them as suggestions and told them that I would get back to them. And I have 2 people I have not contacted. One I have. And I visited with Dave about it, and this has been an ongoing thing and been talked about before. And I guess I didn't put 2 and 2 together there, but the DNR would have to agree to anything that happened there because it is in their jurisdiction. So that's pretty much where we're at with it. Yeah, it is undercutting. It has changed. I've been down there for 30 years. It has changed slightly. They've come up with maybe one, we might put a catch fence there, but it really isn't. It's a straightaway piece. It's not really a curved piece there, so. But, so we did visit about that, but other than that, attended the elk run, and that was very informative. There are some other ways of doing things. They're talking about gateways in your tile where you can actually raise the water level and retain it, which makes a lot of sense in this time of year when you're starting to see that drought period come along in a kind of a crucial time. Be nice to keep that water table on your own land. Which those are all things that I think could be real good. So we'll see where that all goes. But that was a very informative meeting, and I'm, like as Dean said, I'm glad to see the soybean and the corn growers association both getting their fingers in there and trying to help solve some of this. This week I have ambulance on Tuesday, and then I'll be attending with Neil, with Dean down in Oakland for the Nation of Botanists. And then after that, I'm going to do a little short hiatus and digest myself of this for about a week, and then I'll be back. I will be here Monday for the meeting. I have some medical issues I'm going to chase, and I get to have a heart monitor for 30 days. Yeah, I should get it next week. So. But yeah, so I've got a few things that we're going to try to take care of.
Okay, last week, actually I should go about 2 weeks, but the week before last, I had an access washing that Thursday before we left. We kind of went through things last end. And then last week was the Access Washington, which was from Monday through Thursday. And we did get, when we flew out there, we got out there, and we had a meeting in that night with NATO, which is the National Association of Developers Organization, talking particularly about this thing here, the fiscal year budget. I'll pass that around from the president. And actually, that thing is going to drastically change rural development for rural America. There's a lot of programs that are rural America used for the development and stuff that's going to drastically be cut. So we had that meeting that night. Then on Tuesday, we had a meeting with the EPA, talked particularly in regard to the Carroll's issue with their copper level thing that's in their sewer plant. And then at 10 o'clock, we had a USDA meeting, talked several programs there about rural development and other topics. Then at 1 o'clock, we had staff meetings in the Dirksen building. We had 1 o'clock with health insurance tax credits. 1:15, we had wastewater and EPA copper limits. 1:30, we had infrastructure and EDA. 1:45 was healthcare and a CMS demonstration project. 2 o'clock was a conference call with CMS, which did not happen. Actually, what we had was Shannon and Ed Smith actually drove up to Baltimore for that. And then that evening, we had dinner with Congressman King. On Wednesday was Economic Development Administration. We met at the U.S. Department of Commerce, again going over EDA and all of the programs that are involved with development. 11:30 we had a meeting with Congressman Young. 1 o'clock with Congressman King, and at 3 o'clock Congressman Losack, but he was not there, and his staff that met with us. And then actually, we had a meeting that got shifted to Tuesday with Stephanie Grones, which is the director of Iowa Governor's Office that's out in D.C. and went through all these programs also. So, and then we flew back on Thursday. I will say that one of the topics that we had was the tweeter program for the hospital. It's been talked about for years. We've been getting this a demonstration program that's been going on for years. Well, now this year it got extended, but the CMS, the bureaucrats kind of changed the rules, kind of dragging their feet and getting it implemented. And it was going to cost St. Anthony's about $5 million a year. Before we got off the plane on Thursday, we got a text with a news release that the CMS guy was working with Grass's office trying to get this resolved. So I will pass this around if you want to look at it.
Did you meet with Grass and Ernst?
Yes, didn't I say that?
I didn't, maybe I missed it, but I thought.
Yeah, we met with every congressional office except Losack. We met with
Losack?
staff. He was tied up there.
Rod Bloom?
No, we did not have Rod Bloom. I guess except for Rod Bloom.
Rod Bloom.
So, I will say a lot of them out there, I think, are looking at, what we're gonna wind up with a shakeout with this budget thing.
Yeah, I'm sure
That
there are,
thing- that
I'm sure there are
thing-
some concerns.
That thing is really drastic, and I just can't believe that. You know, you gotta remember, this is his request. It's gotta go through Congress, and that probably get, some of it be used, but probably get cut back quite a bit. This week, better go about that now. I've got CADC tomorrow afternoon. We're supposedly, Marty and I are supposed to have a meeting with St. Anthony, he's gonna make it. And we're gonna try to get that changed if we can. And then on Friday, I have, meet at the ISAC office in Des Moines. We will be going over, being some vice president, we will be going over some of that legislative stuff, starting to work on that.
For next year?
Yep, and, so, and also on Friday, I'm supposed to be at Cherokee. Dean, are you available to go? You're my alternate.
Oh, let me check. I'm not
Okay.
sure if I can go, but,
Yeah, and I'm not sure if there's, what's all on the agenda. but-
okay.
but
Let me
it's-
check that.
Tentatively, it's Fridays when I will. So, okay. Any questions on anybody? I mean, we went to rural development. This is what was real strange. This guy gives us a PowerPoint what rural development does, and we know 90% of it. I mean, he was wanting us to be his lobbyist to keep his doors open. But we had a good meeting. We still got time to get our issues done, you know? And, but it was, some of that stuff we went into, they were a different attitude than what they had been in the past. So, Courtney, you have anything? Any comments from those in attendance? If not, we're in order for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Moved and second, any further discussion? Not, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.